Hey everyone, welcome back to the No Comfort Zone podcast. Tonight's episode, which you're probably going to listen to tomorrow morning, is going to be a little bit different. And this is a special one. All the podcasts that I do are very authentic. As you can tell, I don't do a lot of editing. This podcast, it's going to be very real. It's going to be raw, a whole ton of honesty that I bring out in these podcasts. And this one's going to be, I guess, maybe as I would consider it. I was talking to a friend of mine. It's a little bit long overdue. I'm not just going to talk about motivation, habits, pushing your limits, and getting out of your comfort zone. Tonight, I'm going to talk about my story behind the story, my genuine story and the moment that changed my life forever, and how it led to my creation of the No Comfort Zone, and a message that I'm finding out that so many of you resonate with today. So if you've ever felt stuck, lost, alone, broken, or uneven sure why you're here, well, this podcast is definitely for you. And this is known as my origin story of the No Comfort Zone. I'll see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
I think this is podcast number 552, if I'm not mistaken. And man, there's been, to get on that list for FeedSpot to be a top motivational podcast for men, I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm super happy about it. But to be nominated or whatever, to be ranked number 5 on that podcast, it's a big accomplishment, because when I started this, I just wanted to get out there and start talking about success and adversity and the difference between the two. Somebody a long time ago said you can learn a lot from failure. It always stuck with me because I failed a ton. And when I started to champion failure and realized the success that you can get from it, and I realized that I was stuck at average, I kind of wanted to identify how come I have this such, people on the outside see me one way, but on the inside, I always feel like I'm failing. And there was this huge disconnect. And it wasn't until I started to really dig into, listen, I don't really care what people think of me anymore. I just don't want to fail anymore. I want to feel like a winner on the inside. I really had to take a look at my life, and, from where I've been to basically journaling on this podcast and meeting some kick-ass people along the way, learning about some great people along the way and resonating with them and them resonating with me and my story. And this collaboration has been a wonderful journey. And here I'm finding out that people are catching the podcast in the middle. And, I've talked about my origin story before, but somebody mentioned maybe I should talk about it again. So I kind of took a minute after the last series we just did, like last week, and somebody reached out to me and they haven't heard the origin story. And as we were talking about it, everyone's got some adversity that they've been through, and how you go about it, you have to make the decision whether you're going to be a champion because of it, or if it's going to define you and your lack of failure, or your lack of success in your life, or the failure, how you're going to live with it the rest of your life. And I just chose not for it to define me, because it was all self-inflicted in the end. It wasn't until I took 100% accountability for it that it really did change my life. And that's where the blueprint came. But to kind of get into the weeds with this, to kind of really let you know who I am, this goes back to 2006, 2007, where from the outside, people might have saw one thing, but it was painful for me. But on the outside, everyone would say that I had it made. But if I take you back to the moment and truly shattered everything that I thought I knew that I had, that really wasn't there, but I thought I really had it. I literally woke up in a hospital bed. The fluorescent lights, the beeping machines, the sterile air, the complete absolute confusion. I had no idea where I was. Just the reality of I didn't know where I was. I had no idea how I got there. And this is the worst part. I had no idea why I was there. It was like total Twilight Zone. Like I'm in the middle of this room. There's people walking around me, basically ignoring me. And no one's paying attention to me, but everybody's kind of running around busy. And I got these crazy glances from people kind of looking at me like I'm there, but not acknowledging me. And it was a lonely, just a lonely place. I can't say enough how terrible that was. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and I can't. I can't get thoughts in my head. I can't hold on to them. And it's just this really scary place. But the last thing that I remember was pain and the absolute silence and the complete and utter feeling of being overwhelmed with my life. And I'm starting to get some reality with addiction, mental struggles, loneliness, and that it all caught up to me. And then I kind of had this reality that I tried to escape it. I really didn't know what was going on. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, was I in a bad car accident? I was supposed to go speak in California at a big event. I was supposed to be employed somewhere. Somebody gave me an opportunity to go speak, and it was a lucrative thing that I was supposed to go do. And wait a minute, am I in California? Did I make it there? Like, what the hell is going on? And sure enough, as reality was beginning to set in, I'm strapped to a hospital bed, meaning Velcroed to the, wait a minute, they wouldn't strap somebody, and no one's really paying attention to me, and I can't get the words out of my mouth. I can't speak. I'm trying to, but nobody can understand me. And this went on for probably a day and a half, not knowing what the hell is going on. Then when my mom and stepdad came into the room, that's when reality hit, that I did try to take my own life. And it was rough. It was a really horrible time in my life, because back then, to those feelings of, I knew that I was dealing with alcoholism. I wasn't dealing with it. And I had mental health issues, being labeled and being put on medication, the shame from that, the divorce, not seeing my kids, the loneliness, but yet being hired to go speak as a motivational speaker. All that nonsense caught up with me. I wasn't in California. I was at Northwest Community Hospital, and my life literally was coming to an end, and I wanted to end it quicker. I just couldn't face it. But I guess my life did have other plans, because lying in the hospital bed and staring at the ceiling, I'm like, is this what rock bottom is? I'm completely broke. I owe money to the IRS, super behind in child support. I don't know if I have a home anymore. I know I have a mom and a stepdad that care about me, but I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what's going on. I don't have any money. And then I'm deciding that I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk, because there was issues with that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to speak, and I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a sales trainer, and I don't have a wife anymore. I'm not going to see my kids. I'm in really big trouble all over the place. And I know I didn't get here overnight. I know I got there one really bad choice at a time, one bad habit at a time, one bad lie to myself at a time. And for the first time in my life, after being a week in the hospital trying to get to recovery, I knew I was going to have to go to the VA because I ran out of insurance. I'm going to have to face some realities. And I wasn't just dealing with the pain. I was avoiding it. I wasn't struggling with mental health issues. I was suppressing everything I felt. I wasn't addicted to substances. I was addicted to comfort. I tried to escape everything. I just wanted to stay numb. And if you're in the audience and if you're still listening at this point, I don't want you to ever get to that point. I want you to feel the cold air on your face. I want you to feel the cold shower. I want you to feel what it's like to just before you go broke so you don't go broke. I want you to listen and have that hard conversation with your spouse about you're drinking too much, you're spending too much. I want you to have those tough conversations with you need to be present for your kids. Get off your damn cell phone. I want you to have those realities in your life so you don't ruin everyone's life because you're so comfortable being comfortable and you're scared of what could happen next, because what happens next happens next. And there's more to this story, and I'll keep going on. But that day that I made decisions that I didn't want to survive anymore, I just didn't want to go through the motions anymore. I wanted to freaking live, but I didn't want to live this way anymore. And if I knew I had to get better, I couldn't rely on a prescription anymore. I couldn't rely on what the doctors were telling me how I was going to live my life. Oh, dude, you're bipolar. Dude, you're depressed. Oh, dude, this. They were killing me with the medications. 14 different psychotropic medications. Are you kidding me? And I'm an alcoholic and I'm a drug addict and you're giving me more medications? Are you kidding me? Like anybody in the behavioral world, that's insanity. Talk about my problem with the pharmacy world out there. And if you're getting prescribed this many medications, you got to check in and realize what the hell is going on. Are you going through a bad point in your life? Are you addicted to comfort? Are you going to buy into what anyone's going to tell you? Maybe that's your problem. How about I'm going to study myself. I'm going to get rid of all the drugs with the doctor's help. That's really important, listeners. I'm going to study my behavior. I'm going to study my thoughts, my habits, and my reactions. That's where the no comfort zone blueprint came into my life. I took a really, really hard look at my life, and I was willing to do it, and I don't care what I was going to uncover. I had to rewire my mind from the inside out. And that's where the shift happened. I began observing my life like an outsider. I just started asking great questions, better questions every day, like a salesperson. You know, one of the best sales questions you can ever ask, and I learned this a long time ago from my man, Tony Robbins, who taught me how to sell cars, taught me how to manage people, and I spent a lot of money with him to learn how to become a better leader, salesperson, manager, is what's most important to you about blank? I started asking those questions to myself. Why did I react the way that I did? Why did I run from discomfort? What's wrong with discomfort? What's wrong with that? You know, in the Marines, they teach you one thing. When you're getting ambushed, you line up as a team and you run towards the end. If you're a Marine, hit me up. Somehow connect with me. Let me know that you're listening out there. That would mean a lot to me. But you don't run from a challenge. You run towards it. You have a better survival rate. Come on, I'm talking some truth here. So why would I run from discomfort? Why did I keep repeating the same patterns over and over again? Because people around me enabled me. I was talented in some areas to draw that conclusion from people where I could actually mask what was really going on. I was bullshitting them and I was bullshitting me. And look where it got me. I was able to walk again. It scared the shit out of me. I was able to talk again, as you can hear now. But it was scary for about a week there. I didn't know what was going to happen. But I'll tell you what, when I started to ask better questions and I was intentional in my outcome to become successful, to become the best version I could possibly be, the one that God intended me to be, it took a long time, folks. I'm not the smartest learner. It takes me forever to figure something out. But when I do, I master it. And one of the best ways to master it is to teach other people. Hence the podcast, hence the sales training, hence doing things and giving back. It just helps me to become better at being me. And something strange did happen. The tools that I'd learned in sales training, psychology, the connection, the communication, the skills, they weren't just about closing deals and managing people. They were literally the tools that I used to begin to rewire my brain. They became mirrors for self-awareness. The first part of the blueprint, A, become fully aware. That's sales psychology, AIDA. If you know what that is, hit me up. If you're in the sales arena out there, if you've been doing this for a long, you know, attention. Do I have your attention? Interest. Decide, take action. That's psychology 101 in sales. but I used that to rewire my brain. Every training that I've gone through suddenly made sense on a different level. I realized that what I thought was sales was actually self-development. What I thought was about business was really all about behavior. And what I thought was about making money was really about making meaning. And if you're dialed in right now, and if you want to learn more, hit me up, Dan at the No Comfort Zone, because this is deep. I've never talked at this level before on this podcast. But, the rehab, the sales training, the Marine Corps boot camp, you put all this together, it's life-changing when you go through this much adversity, because all of that adversity, self-inflicted adversity, running away from discomfort, running towards comfort, hiding myself, got me absolutely nowhere. And I'm here to share with you some stuff. There's some really great things that have happened because of it, but you don't have to go through the pain and suffering that I did to get where it is you want to go in your life. You don't have to lose the bank account. You don't have to lose the cars, the house, the kids. You don't have to lose all of that to find a better version of yourself. You can do it in your current situation. Now, I was fortunate, very fortunate, to be given another second, third, fourth chance. I've got a beautiful family. I have wonderful kids. I have wonderful opportunities all around me. Those had to get recreated, but I had to rewire. And if you can do it in your current situation right now, wouldn't be that the best gift? Wouldn't it be great to go away, figure some things out, and come back unrecognizable to be the best version, the one that your current family knows that you could be, that they're waiting for you to be? Wouldn't that be the most, man or woman, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the way it should be, right? But when I talk about making meaning, it was never about making sales. It was about the connection, the human behavior, the transformation. And that's really where the No Comfort Zone was born. I was just tired of being me and tired of being average. I wanted so much more success that rather than just say that, business first, making the sales and everything, when I took my business and I took my personal life and put them together and I made it my personal business, man, everything changed. I created the No Comfort Zone as a catchy title, but I created the No Comfort Zone not as a catchy title. I misspoke there. I got some notes in front of me, but as a survival strategy. And then it turned into my success blueprint, because when I was going through this, when this was actually created, I got some bad health diagnosis that, I had some things that I had to deal with back in 2017. And the doctor told me, if I don't stop doing this with my diet, if I don't stop or start exercising, I'm in really bad shape for a lot of really bad things. And it scared me. So I had to start dieting and exercises. I had to lose like 30, 40 pounds. And I talk about it in the podcast in the early days. And I did it. And also my business that I was in at the time, they took, just imagine this, you go into your work, you're working your ass off, you're setting all kinds of goals, you're helping the other employees that you're supposed to help, you're doing great, you're breaking records, and all of them say, hey, you're doing such a great job. What we're going to do is you're a high income earner, you're well respected in the community because of what you do for our business. We're going to cut your pay in half. Literally, that's what they did. And I asked, how can you explain yourself to this? Because we know you're good enough and you're going to produce double the results and you'll get your pay back to where it's supposed to be. Actual conversation. Come on, that's nonsense. So I had to walk away from that, but I didn't walk away from that right away. I took my health situation and I took my blueprint situation, and I said, if I can do this with losing weight, my diet and exercise, I can apply my No Comfort Zone blueprint, which I talk about on every podcast. And if you want a copy of it, I can send it to you. Dan at the No Comfort Zone, or hit me up on, I think I have a Facebook part podcast. Just hit me up there. It's in my Facebook part. You can just see it there. I can even send you a video on how I use it for, how I can help you set your goals and reach your goals through adversity. But I created the No Comfort Zone literally as my success blueprint to get me out of that financial situation and to get me out of my health situation. And I taught 3 people how to use it. And those people excelled phenomenally. And within a short amount of time period, I hit my financial goal. And I was able to walk away from that job and align myself with one client that was able to catapult me to my goals. I had no idea how it was going to go, but it did happen, and it's a reality that I'm working with today, and it's an amazing story. It was my way of forcing myself to do the things that I didn't want to do, but I desperately needed to do to grow. Because my human behavior is comfort. I'm always looking for comfort. I have to force myself. And that's another great part about this. When you align with somebody else, you do it more for the other person than you will for yourself. I'm wired that way. I'll do more for my family than I will for myself. Left to my own, I'm good to go. I'll take it easy. For my family, I'll do anything for. Because if I knew I'd stay comfortable, I'd stay stuck. And if I stayed stuck, I'd stay numb. And if I'd stayed numb, I'd never become the man I'm capable of being. How many of you people out there feel that way now today? If you stay comfortable, you're never going to be the version of yourself you know that you could be. So I challenge myself every day to do something uncomfortable, to do something inconvenient, to do something that demanded growth instead of avoidance. And what happened? My life completely changed. I stopped reacting. I started responding. I stopped hiding. And folks, I got to tell you, I started healing. I didn't have to look over my shoulder. I didn't have to say I'm sorry for who I was. I started to get conviction, some confidence, some conviction, and most importantly, I started to get certainty back in my life. I know why God put me on this planet, to be the best version of myself. And in doing so, I actually started to feel better. I know what I am means now. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man of character. You can't say that if you don't put yourself through intentional challenges. That's true for me. That's a core value of mine. So I used to think success was about money, titles, recognition, but real success comes from waking up excited to live. Being in alignment with who you really are. It's facing your pain and using it as power. Everybody's got adversity. You're going through it. You just went through it, or you're right in the middle of it. It's about living to your potential, and it's about living on purpose, not just surviving, but thriving with intention. So if you're listening to this right now, in your own hospital bed, whether literal or metaphorical, I want you to know something. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be rewired. And it starts today. Starts by facing your truth. Starts by doing something uncomfortable. Starts by choosing purpose over comfort. That's how you begin to life you're proud of. This is the No Comfort Zone podcast, and this is just the beginning. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Today is the day you get out of your comfort zone and you live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at No Comfort Zone 1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye.